it's Scott. And what I want to go ahead and just quickly touch on is a couple things that they don't teach you, but really should, when it comes to backup, otherwise known as alternate airways. And in the realm of backups or alternate airways, there's really three main players out there. You've got King Airways, otherwise in Europe known as a laryngeal tube. You've got LMAs, otherwise known as laryngeal mask airways of various varieties. And then you have the relatively new kid on the block, which are iGels. But when you're trying to figure out who gets what, first, when it comes to King Airways, some of y'all remember up until recently that the smallest King Airway available was a size 2. And the way that we taught medics and ERs to remember this was simply called H2 size 2. And it was an easy way to remember at 2 o'clock in the morning how low you could go. However, recently introduced in the last couple of years here in the States is the size 0 and the size 1, otherwise known as the baby and the 1-year-old. So with that in mind, here's an easy way to try to remember what's what. A size 0 is for a 0-year-old. A size 1 is for a 1-year-old. To no surprise, a size 2 is for a 2-year-old. And up until relatively recently, that's the way that I, as an educator, simply taught it. A size 0 was for 0, 1 was for 1, 2 was for 2, and after that, you could look at your chart and figure out who got what. Which was great until somebody in a course threw the gauntlet and said, you know what, I really like the 0, 1, 2 thing, but can't you come up with a better way to try to remember these other remaining sizes? So with that, I sat down with educators from around the country and we compiled our easy way when it comes to kings to try to remember what's what. So with that, a size 0 is for a 0-year-old, a size 1 is for a 1-year-old, a size 2 is for a 2-year-old. Then it would have been a whole lot easier if they simply went 3, 4, 5, 6, but of course nothing in healthcare is that easy. So when it comes to kings, it goes 0, 1, 2. The next one you remember is a 2.5. So how do you remember 2.5 is simply 25 kilos. Put a decimal point in there, 2.5. If your kid is more or less 25 kilos, you get a 2.5. It jumps to size 3. Way to remember size 3 if you're bigger than Broslow. Remember the Broslow tape finishes more or less about 33 kilos or so. So just as a rule, if you don't look like a big old adult, but you still look like some variation of a kid, simply, if you're bigger than Broslow, you get a 3. Then we have 4 and 5. Easy way to remember size 4 is 4 most adults. Meaning if you've got most adults, they get a 4 because 4 is for most adults. And size 5 is simply if you're bigger than a backboard. So if you seriously are like 6'6", something of that sort where you literally don't fit on a backboard, if you're bigger than a backboard, you grab the biggest King Airway, which is a size 5. 0 for a 0-year-old, 1 for a 1-year-old, 2 for a 2-year-old. 25 kilos, put in a decimal point, you get a 2.5. If you're bigger than Broslow, you get a 3. 4 most adults. And if you're bigger than a backboard, you get a 5.